cable film.
This is a TBS movie. Yeah. You nailed it when you said a TBS movie, right?
When people left the theaters from this movie, I don't think a lot of people were screaming, man, oh my gosh. Like, I don't think anybody left this movie on a high. I think they sort of left this movie going, yeah, that was cool. And people are like, hey, what'd you think about it? Yeah, it was good. Like, I liked it. So like, I think that's maybe what kept it from word of mouth. Because did any of you guys leave the theaters screaming like, oh my gosh? Or...
So I know exactly what I did when I left this theater. Because I saw it in the theater in Belleville's Quinte Mall. And we saw it at a matinee. I went down to my parents' house. And my wife and I went with my parents to go see it. And after that, I went to Sam the Record Man, and I bought the original Walking Tall trilogy on DVD.
Ooh.
I was so pumped up about it. I was like, I need to own the original. And
my reaction to seeing this, particularly, I don't remember seeing it originally, but particularly on the rewatch, and we talked about this actually when the three of us got together and talked about 12 Rounds, how there's a WWE movie that's, borrowing a lot of tropes. It's basically Speed, right?
And Die Hard. It's Speed
and Speed and Die Hard. And I came out of this going, it's maybe a little bit of like the poor man's Roadhouse, a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, did you guys get the Roadhouse vibes from?
Yeah, big guy goes to small town, right? That's that.
Yeah, and then you have the local crime lord who runs everything, who controls the office.
Like, the casino should have just been called the Double Deuce as a tip of the cap.
Yeah. It's an insane casino too. What's going on in that place?
Everything, Mark. Everything is going on in that place.
Yeah, it's like, it's like Roadhouse. It's a remake, but then it's kind of like the PG-13 version of it. So I think
it's also a fictional remake of a like historical biopic. It's super weird, and I think it's one of the only ones that exists in the world where it's like, we're gonna remake this Paramount biopic, but we're gonna change the names, and we're gonna clearly take liberties with it, where it's almost it almost isn't based on a true story anymore.
Yeah, and Wounds Hill in 3 days.
Yes.
Should there have been a scene of The Rock doing Tai Chi out in front of the bar?
Oh my gosh, and a throat rip?
Yeah.
Yes, there should have. All right, listen. Like, for his healing montage, it should just be a year. And this movie, it's 80 minutes, so let's make it 100 minutes. And those 20 minutes are just him training to get back in shape over the course of a year.
He staples his box cutter wounds closed
together,
and just starts doing sit-ups. Pain don't hurt, and just starts doing sit-ups in the living room.
Monster trucks.
He should have.
We need better bands. We need chicken wire.
When he hired his new deputies, he should have did the whole "you be nice until it's time to not." He should have done a word for word that speech.
Oh man, he needs a nice doctor.
Right.
Ashley Scott could have worn a doctor's uniform instead of a fireman, and then that could have tied in with Roadhouse.
Absolutely.
I just want to get my dream casting out, and I'm sorry, Adam, if I'm going to lose you here a little bit, but I want a Polish remake.
You've never lost me. A Polish remake
with Jan Blachowicz.
Okay. Yep.
Absolute beasts of a fist fighter. Polish, because that'd be messed up. Because the European versions of things are always crazier. Yeah. So Jan Blachowicz or Julian Pena, who just beat Amanda Nunes. Pena's a beast. Like, you see those arms, like, she's, like, shredded. So I think if she was a bouncer in a bar, she could lay waste to people. So that'd be cool. So Pena, Julian Pena, or Jan Blachowicz in a Polish remake. You know what? Put Julian Pena in the Polish remake. Have her star in a Polish remake of Walking Tall.
Okay. Now, I know I've said Brock Lesnar to have the wrestling tie-in, but we all know this is a custom-made role for Scott Adkins, right?
He would have to be in Walking Tall too, though.
Yeah, he's the direct-to-DVD sequel.
Oh, man. But so many spin kicks.
So many spin kicks.
Oh, I want a Walking Tall with Scott Adkins.
We all do.
What would his weapon be?
A lamp. I think the first...
Like a metal pole of a lamp? Well, lamps?
So I think that his first fight is at a casino, but it's like a real dingy. It's almost like someone's running it from their garage. It's like a
garage casino. Those are
garage
big.
Casino. So there's a house lamp in the corner, and he gets in a fight, and he wails out the house lamp and breaks the bulb part off the lamp shade. So then he just has like essentially a bow staff that used to be a lamp. And then he just carries that thing around with him as a reminder why he's doing it.
And he lights people up.
Yeah, light it up, baby. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh gosh, we talked about this earlier, so this is a little pre-planned. But you guys gave me such hilarious answers. So Phil, you are, you're Hank McCrory, right? You're moving home back to the greater Toronto area.
Mm-hmm.
As Adam, I don't know, Adam likes it when I say that. So
I love when you reference the GTA.
Yeah, and you come back home after 8 years of being in the military. You didn't fail out of the military. You were just in the military. Everyone's like, you bombed out of the military. Like, he did his time. He was in there for 8 years.
Yeah.
So you do your time, you come back home, and there's lines of people around the block waiting to go to the XXX stores. There's crazy casinos. You witness drug dealing. Your nephew does crystal meth, and he sleeps in a tent. What's your weapon?
Yeah, I think the direction I want to go with this, it's like I've been away in the military, or I'm like I've been on special assignment, so I've been like climbing mountains. I'm essentially going to turn this into Batman Begins, where I'm climbing mountains and I'm inhaling flowers and hallucinating and fighting ninjas. And so I come home and I'm well trained. I'm essentially a ninja. So I'm a sheriff and I'm carrying, throwing stars. I'm carrying sais. I think I want to go with like the Raphael Ninja Turtle sais, like hanging down like out of my belt.
Yeah.
And then people are just like,
that.
what is that guy doing? He's got ninja sais.
That would be so confusing for me.
You would have. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, so I'm living in GTA. I think I'm kind of like the king dog. And you walk up to me with sais.
Mm-hmm.
You run.
Yeah.
What do you like? The mental game has been won. You've won the mental game with your weapons.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I say he would have the same effect on me as the guy at the Canada Day or July 4th like community festival that's walking around with a snake on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And you're like, because there's always that one guy who's like, this is my day. I get to take my snake out for a walk.
What?
Because there's always the guy that has a snake or like a parrot or some weird animal. And he's like, I can walk it today because it's gonna be nice and warm. And I'm like, my reaction to that guy is like, I don't want to know him, but I even more so don't want to talk to him because I know that he's already won the mental game. I have no idea what's going to happen next. He's such an unknown commodity. So a sheriff brandishing Raphael sais, yeah, you can't make up your mind around that.
And you're good with them too, right?
Yeah, you just pull them out, twirl them around a few times, and then smash somebody's taillights, and you're good to go.
Man,
nobody's gonna mess with you.
Would you be as good with those sais as Jennifer Gardner is in Daredevil with her sais?
Yeah, hopefully as good.
Would you train in a similar fashion? Would you have a pulley system on your ceiling that drops bags of sand at strategic moments during your choreographed training session that you have drawn devil faces onto them?
Do you listen to Evanescence exclusively when you train?
I feel like this is like the international Psy training manual. We are writing what needs to go in there. You've got to crank the Evanescence.
Yeah.
And have a elaborate sandbag pulley system. That's the only way. Like if you're going to be recognized as like, a Psy, accredited Psy black belt or something like that, those are the tests that you have to go through. Like you get some Psy grandmaster who turns on the Evanescence and watches you navigate the sandbag pulley obstacle course to determine whether you're going to be certified or not.
What kind of sound system does this guy have? Because set the scene. What this grandmaster? How does he play Evanescence?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. We're up like in the Himalayas somewhere, so I've had to like climb this whole way. I'm just gonna go full Nolan as always. And he's got ninjas, but they're also a drum line. And so we've got like timpanis and snare drums and maybe like a choir in the background.
Whoa.
And they're just doing like full drum line / choir Evanescence covers as I'm hallucinating and just dodging sandbags falling from the ceiling.
Now,
I wonder
is it
if
choreographed or is it random? Because in Daredevil, it's choreographed. Like, she knows exactly when they're coming down. So it's a little bit like it's more Elektra's skills come from her ability to program a timer.
Yeah, as all ninjas do.
So is it set on a timer that Grandmaster has programmed that you know of, or is it completely random?
It kind of feels like cheating, right? Like if I'm gonna be a ninja master, like I gotta be developing my ninja instincts. I can't just be like, oh, I studied the textbook and now I know the timing. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's
I
random.
feel like in the movie version of this, as Phil walks in to do his final test, the lead singer from Evanescence walks out and she's disappointed because she did not qualify. It's like a little nod.
Oh, there
right?
it is.
When you're sheriff, do you talk in a raspy voice?
Oh, yeah, your taillights are out. You gotta get them fixed. Yeah,
Incredible.
I think I'm definitely trying that out for sure.
Man, I'm I've already lost. If I was a villain, knowing that you're good with size, the voice, the evanescence, the sand, I'd move my casino to the next town. You've won.
I think when I'm starring in Walking Tall 6 after my YouTube fame, I'm going to just write that down, that I want to work with my acting coach on what voice I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We got to make this happen. What YouTube show can we get going here?
I think Phil's YouTube show should just be him walking through his pitches for Walking Tall 6 scripts.
Yep.
There we go.
We should do a fake flick about Walking Tall 6.
His show's called Talking Tall.
And then you do minute by minute of each movie.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Let me explain to you why this is the Walking Tall 6.
What's your weapon of choice?
So Phil can attest to this. But I'm all about, like, in my world of worlds, paradise of paradise, like, I'm all about like relaxing and having people in our home and like entertaining and having like we have a fire pit in our backyard, so I'm all about having people over and just like I want to relax and have friends over to just chill. That's my A game. So I imagine when I go home for being in the special forces for 6 years and then my knee making me have to leave is what I assume. I would call you and Megan and Phil and Ju, like I'd call them all over. We're having a big backyard, celebration. Adam's home. I get to see my friends again. But we're in Canada, so mosquitoes can be a problem, right? Like bugs can be a problem. So we have these like citronella torches that you stick into your lawn, and they're about 3.5, 4 feet tall, and they have a big candle, and you burn it like a candle. It's a wood base with like wax around the outside of it. And so I imagine when Neal McDonough, his character, his antagonist in my film, who would be played by Jack Black, I think, comes with his boys, and they're like, let's go to the casino, and they're getting in my face, and they start a fight in my backyard. I take a citronella candle, and it's on fire, and I whale him in the face with it. So he's got a burn scar, which makes him my arch nemesis.
Whoa.
And then because it's got that sharpened wooden bottom, I can use it as like a stabbing weapon, or I can threaten to put it back on fire. But also I'm free when I'm fighting of mosquitoes bothering me or distracting me, because it keeps the mosquitoes away.
You would get invited to so many barbecues.
This is, I bring the citronella.
And you keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And the spear, would you sharpen the bottom?
Oh, you gotta sharpen the bottom. If your bottom's not sharp, you're not using your weapon to the fullest extent.
Wow. That's a good weapon. You would have to refill the citronella a lot. So you would have to.
Well, I need multiple, right? Because like it's only good enough till it burns, and you get a new one. But they're fairly cheap. Like I think.
Do you stop the fight to light a new one?
No, I think when if the candle burns all the way down and you haven't won the fight yet, then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. I would never mess with a fire guy. You see somebody walking around with fire, you don't try to fight them.
No. No, they're $4.97 at Canadian Tire here in Canada, so it's not a big investment.
That's true. One a day.